The 15-inch LG Gram notebook that I reviewed last year didn't have the greatest keyboard or a super crisp high-resolution screen. It didn't have the best battery life, and the strength of its construction was frankly subpar. But it got a very positive review because I understood the steep learning curve associated with engineering such a unique product. The world's lightest 15-inch laptop, under 1 kilogram. Well, now they've had a year to reflect on their experience and refine the design, so the 2017 iteration of the LG Gram will get no such special treatment. Let's see how it fares. Right out of the gate, LG's increased confidence in the Gram product line is apparent. We get 3 different screen sizes to choose from, and the variety of configurations and colors available is wider. Our 14-incher is equipped with a dual-core Core i5-7200U, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 256 gig SATA 3 SSD, while our 15.6-inch rocks a Core i7-7500U, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 512 gig SATA 3 SSD. And there have been some other changes too. For one thing, the top-end 15.6-inch model weighs more than a kilogram now, with the 14-inch coming in at almost the same weight as last year's 15.6. Wait, what? Wasn't the weight the whole point of the Gram name even? Well, maybe, but I don't care, because you get a whole lot of awesome stuff for your 10% weight increase without, in my mind, giving up a noticeable amount of the portability of it. First up, the lousy hinge has been replaced by one that's damn near perfect. This is more impressive than you might think. One finger lift is not easy on a device that weighs so little. Next up, all 3 gram sizes are available with multi-touch screens now. The 1080p IPS display still isn't dazzlingly bright and suffers from worse than usual glare under non-ideal conditions, and I think strengthening it a little bit to reduce wobble is especially important for something you're supposed to touch, but I'd still rather have this feature than not. Third up, the addition of a backlight on the keyboard. Woo! I mean, I got nothing negative to say about it. It's got 2 brightness levels and works as you would expect. The absence of this on last year's model was one of my main gripes about it, along with, number 4, unexceptional battery life, which has been, well, let's just say the battery got more roided up than 90s Major League Baseball. All 3 models, 13, 14, and 15.6-inch, get 60 watt-hour batteries. That's about 85% of the capacity that powers a thin and light gaming notebook like the Razer Blade for 3 to 4 hours, except that by comparison, the Gram sips power. LG did this cool video showcasing a sponsored art collab that was created on a single charge on the Gram. And that was neat, but to put it in a more practical everyday perspective, I forgot my laptop charger at the office on Friday, used it as I normally would over the weekend, and still had 30% left when I got into the office on Monday morning. The last machine I had that freed me from worrying about the location of the nearest wall outlet like that was the 2015 MacBook. And unlike that thing, the Gram has ports. Though, while the USB-C port can be used for 4K 60Hz output, and I'm pretty darn thankful for the microSD and Type-A USB 3s, I do think that the loadout could have been better. Thunderbolt 3 and HDMI 2.0 would be welcome additions on the next model, and IMO charging should really be handled by another Type-C port. And while I'm at it, the speakers sound like they're coming from somewhere under my desk, probably because that's where they're pointed. The webcam location, not to mention the image quality, sucks the big one. I'd like to see it moved above the display, even if it costs me a few grams. And while the ClickPad actually feels pretty decent in day-to-day use, objectively, it really needs to be better built on a device that costs this much. With that said, the 2x2 Wi-Fi implementation is a solid B-, managing over 30 megabytes per second in my standard test location, and the keyboard wins back a lot of the points I just deducted. There are a couple of layout oddities. I'm not a huge fan of the power button here instead of delete, but the key switches are surprisingly satisfying to type on, and there's a pleasant soft touch coating on the keycaps, which add up to an overall really enjoyable typing experience. And this is critical for a hyper-portable machine like this, because even though the simple cooling solution kept everything under control at reasonable noise levels, even with no thermal throttling, these U-class dual cores aren't beefy enough to do much more than sit and work on them. They just do it for a really, really, really long time in the LG Gram.